We're live on YouTube first today. What a plot twist. Oh. Yeah, I know. Can you believe it? I don't know if there's anyone on YouTube already, but I think this is the first time I have managed to accomplish this, so yay me, I guess. Oh yeah, you guys are here. Hi Paulina. Hello Vindictus and Carolyn, and hi Zoe. Hey guys. Am I getting good at it or what? I cannot believe it. Okay, perfect. Couple more streams and yeah, I will be a pro. No. Okay, let me also launch the TikTok one as well. Okay. And then we're also gonna wait for everyone to join us on TikTok because we care about them and we like them too, so. Yeah, as you can see, the map is pretty chill today so far. Just the usual. Regarding the air raid alerts, it's unfortunately the same sad eastern bunch that is having the air raid alerts. The Sumska, the Sumy, and Kharkiv. And I think Donbass is red most of the time, and so is Crimea, but that's for different reasons. Hello everybody, welcome. Let's get it started. I'm already talking to YouTube people. Hello. Guess today was a very unique day. I launched YouTube first, so... Привет, друзі. Hi. Hello guys, I see you all. Thank you for joining. If you guys interested, the TikTok crowd, if you're interested in seeing the maps and the articles and stuff, you can go watch us on YouTube as well, because this is where I'm also broadcasting and showing stuff. TikTok only has my face of different levels of sadness, depending on the days. So, yeah. Hello, Helena. Hi. Oh, Loris. Hello, Josh. Central California. That sounds good. That sounds like a good place to be. And Zoe's also here. Zoe's everywhere. Good to see you guys. Let me know how's it going for all of you. What does the boat mean? I wish it was something fun. So, actually... Thank you. Interestingly enough, on another map, on the deep state map, it is something fun. We're going to look at it in a second. But this is to mark the time when the enemy ships with missiles on them were last spotted in the Black Sea. So as you can see, it's July 13th, right, which is good. So 3 days of relative calm regarding that. But yeah, it's just this is not the exact location where they are. It's just to mark that this is where they could be potentially with missiles on board. And if you look at the deep state map, the other map that we're looking at pretty often, this thing right here, the Titanic-y looking thing, yeah, that's actually the approximate place for Moskva getting down. Wait, why does it have baby Grogu? But yeah, this is the supposed place for Moskva becoming a submarine. So, yeah, this one is much more fun. I like this one better. This is not as fun. But yeah, it's about the air raid alert, so I guess it makes sense. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I know, not a pleasant one. This is much more fun. The heat, I don't know, today was such a weird day. It was raining and then it wasn't raining and now it's getting hotter. Why though? It's evening. It's just, we've already discussed the crazy summer that we've been having, and I think we're not alone in that. Hi Mihaela, thank you. I know, we need more of that. We haven't had the submarine promotion in a while. Did we talk about Slovakia blocking sanctions? We will. We will. We're just getting started. Hi, Maddie. And hi, Furman. Hello, everybody. Yeah, Slovakia did a thing. Slovakia pulled a Slovakia, as they do. Nothing new here, unfortunately. Wait, do I have a related article somewhere? I think I did. I also have a bunch of Hungarian nonsense, as always, because of course Trump is in the building. Sorry guys, no target, no trigger warning. There was, I think I had it somewhere. Okay, we're gonna find it. This is just a quick one, but yeah, once again, EU fails to approve new sanctions on Russia for the second time, which again, surprise, surprise. We were just talking about how it was Malta and Slovakia, now it's just Slovakia. Hungary suspiciously missing from the pack. I know something is unusual. What is Orban doing? Hi, Buttercup. Greetings to you too. Yeah, we also like you guys as well in Latvia and wishing all the best for you, so... yeah, let's stay hopeful and optimistic together, I guess. Once again, there was a discussion about the new package of the sanctions that EU was trying to approve. Remember, for how long have we been talking about this? I think this is already the second week, at the very least, of the attempted sanctions. They gathered, they discussed, and what do you know? Slovakia opposed them. Slovakia vetoed the approval of the sanctions during a meeting of EU ambassadors, the diplomat said, while two of the diplomats said Malta had also raised an objection. This is what we discussed before, right? Slovakia has been blocking the package over its disagreement with with a separate proposal to end all imports of Russian gas from 2028. So it's either the oil or the gas most of the times, something that they cannot agree. It's either or. It's either the oil or the natural gas, because we'll remember how hooked a lot of the EU countries are on the Russian natural resources. So yeah, if you take that into account, it all of a sudden starts to make a lot of sense. While the plan is unrelated to the latest sanctions package, Slovakia has connected the two issues. Bratislava is still heavily reliant on Russia for energy supplies and has argued a ban on imports would hurt its economy. Interestingly enough, it's not just Bratislava. That's Fico. Jump scare. This is the article that I think I had in mind. Yeah, look at that. Look at his beautiful face. What is happening here? Is everything okay? Okay, everybody be nice to each other. Okay, or I'll have to take some measures. I don't know which ones, but I will. So everyone's being nice, right? Okay, this is Fico. The beautiful face of his. And yeah, Fico, in his usual gracious, super articulated nature, also called the proposal to abandon Russian gas imbecilical. Okay, now we have to go back to the original one. Yeah, of course. But no, I wanted to pull up another article related to the Russian gas. Wait, where is it? It's from the Insider. So according to the European statistics, to the Eurostat, Russia rises to third place among the main gas suppliers in the EU. This is from today. And while we're on the topic of the natural gas and oil and all of these things, yeah, and how it's just Slovakia that is still hooked on and reliant on the Russian natural gas. Yeah, not really. So it's quoting the May statistics, right? In May, Russia rose to the third place among the main suppliers. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, appreciate it. Among the main suppliers of natural gas to the European Union, ahead of Norway. Okay, they are quoting at Russian RIA Novosti, but they're citing Eurostat, so yeah, I know, the desire to say, it's RIA Novosti is really strong, but thank you, Maris, thank you so much, appreciate it, thank you for the support. The main supplier of gas to the EU remains the United States, no surprises here. They sold gas to Europe for almost 2 billion euros. And in the second place is Algeria, which supplied gas for 1.1 billion euros. Russia supplied gas to the European Union for 1.1 billion euro, which is almost a quarter more than in April. This is the May statistics, right? We don't really know the most recent figures. And Norway may reduce supplies by 13%, supplying fuel for 842 million euros. So, yeah, whenever we talk about this is just Slovakia, right, that is hooked, or it's just Hungary, or it's slightly hypocritical. It's not just them. It's not just them. It's everyone else as well. And perhaps this is why Fico is so confident when he's making comments like, this is imbecilical, right? Introducing sanctions and sanctioning the Russian gas, because they did unfortunately manage to get hooked pretty deeply, which was one of the main points of this entire ordeal to begin with. And of course, Hungary supports the Slovakian positions. Are we surprised? Is anyone surprised? Oh, Christ, yeah. This particular article is quoting the Hungarian foreign minister Szijjártó. We're going to talk about him again in a couple minutes. But yeah, so he was quoted saying that Slovakia hasn't received any guarantees that they would believe to be enough. So they want something in return. And they want something in return. They want something that would be a good enough promise for them. Some guarantees, some money probably, an alternative to the Russian gas, and they're not getting whatever it is that they want. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the donation. Wait, who was that? Thank you, Jason. Thank you, appreciate it. And thank you so much. And thank you, Maddie, too. Appreciate the support, you guys. Thank you. Okay, so this was Hungary, and then also, of course, he added, we support Slovakia's position, said a Hungarian Minister of Foreign Affairs. But at the same time, he also clarified that this particular sanction package, the 18th package, does not represent threat to Hungary. So on one hand, they supported Slovakia, but on the other hand, they kind of threw Slovakia under the bus. So yeah, they're going to continue talking about this, I'm afraid. There's going to be a lot of talking about the natural gas. Hi, Roy. Hello. Thank you, everyone who's joining on YouTube. Appreciate all of you. We have a lot of stuff to discuss today. Enjoy the beautiful face of Robert Fico in the meantime. So, yeah, it's always a mess. It's a mess with the sanctions. Okay, is everything okay? Is everyone... Let me just see. Did I miss something? It's okay if the people are talking, it's fine. But if someone would like to go to, a more relaxed version of the... oh my god, Justified, you're back. Okay, no, we're gonna deal with you in a second. If you would like a much more relaxed version of the chat with no conversations going, we have a YouTube chat now where we only have a couple people hanging out. It's nice and quiet, so we have alternatives now. We have options, so let's just... Okay, thank you. And Justified, what would you like for me to wake up from? I think I am fully awakened. I am awoke. I'm fully woke. Could you please give us some instructions? Unless, I think Zoe might have already muted you. Oh no. What would you like for me to wake up from? Okay, we woke. Okay, I guess we'll never know. We will never know, everybody. But yeah, so this is the messy situation with this potential sanctions package. What I believe is going to happen, they're going to continue bargaining for some time, and then, Slovakia will get whatever the hell it wants, and Malta will get whatever they want, and yeah, I think they will eventually agree on this package. But the problem at hand remains much bigger than just Slovakia or Malta or Hungary. This is our problem. The fact that it's, third place. It's still, they're still receiving about €1 billion, even more actually, much more than that. Russia is still receiving from the European Union, and yeah, unfortunately there is no end to it in sight. So in June 2025, this particular article says, it quotes the European Commission, and that they prepared a plan for a complete ban on Russian gas. Remember, right, it was, I think we talked about it before, in because originally was something that we were all hoping for, that this was going to be the case, that there's going to be a complete ban on the Russian natural resources, which are a backbone of Putin's economy and his wallet. So yeah, they prepared a plan for complete ban by the end of 2027. So this plan in particular implies a ban on imported pipeline gas and LNG from January 1st, 2026, with the exception of supplies under previously concluded individual contracts. Against the ban on the import of Russian gas, you already know who they are Hungary and Slovakia. Oh, thank you, Dr. Chris, thank you. Which receive fuel through the pipeline. Russian gas is also imported by Belgium, France, the Netherlands, and Spain. Yeah. So, and before Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the European Union received almost half of Russia's gas, now less than 20%. So, yeah, the same old, and unfortunately no end to it in sight. So, hopefully they will be moving according to the plan, and hopefully they will be gradually replacing it. In the meantime, of course, Hungary and Slovakia will be getting in the way with additional cameos from Malta. But yeah, that's on the sanctions. I don't remember who asked about the sanctions, but that's pretty much where we are. Is everything okay? Are we chilling? Okay, I think... I'm now worried. I'm worried about the mental health of the chat and the atmosphere and the vibes and everything. So again, we have also another chat. Okay, if you're interested. Thank you, Jason. Thank you so much. So let's just all be, okay, our best selves. All right, that's the sanctions situation. One more look at Robert Fico. Just such a mug. Oh God, I don't even know between him and Orban who do we like more. It's so hard to pick. How's your family on the Russian side? Still brainwashed? Yeah, they're gonna. I think they're gonna continue. It's been actually kind of slightly changing in certain cases. But I don't really believe there's going to be any sort of fundamental change coming, because they still live there. And when you live there, it comes with a certain level, of coping, and certain level of agreement with the state propaganda that you have to, I guess, take on. So yeah, there isn't going to be like a magical 180 degrees turn and, a happy end and we're all hugging each other and beautiful music is playing. No, I don't think that's going to be the case, unfortunately. Okay, let's move on to Mr. Donald Trump. We forgot to talk about the strike. Okay, we're going to talk about the missile strikes too. A lot of things to talk about. And today, I don't know, I'm just feeling I'm a little buggy, a little foggy. So just, yeah, you will have to bear with me, I'm afraid. The vibe check is checking. Hi, hello. Oh, green tea. Oh, that's wonderful. That sounds amazing. Mine is it's something with a mango. I'm not entirely sure what that is because for some reason it wasn't written on the package, but it tastes good, and the cup is with the butterflies. Huh? Look how nice. One of my favorite cups ever. And I'm trying to be on theme, so we have a butterfly in my hair, which it's a little silly, but I'm trying to do something here, so bear with me. And also the cup, and also I tried with the color scheme, but this works, cup doesn't work. A long way to go. We have a long way to go regarding aesthetics, but I'm trying. Oh. All right. Thank you. Complete meltdown of Trump. Oh, there was another one. Is there a compilation? We need a YouTube compilation of all of the Trump meltdowns. The recent situation has been, has been slightly silly, but also in the best, I think it's the classic Trump fashion. This is something that we have already seen happening before. So at first, remember, a couple days ago, last time we talked, we had this U-turn regarding the, weapons for Ukraine policy, allegedly. We have discussed how for now it's still a nothing burger, and although it sounds promising, in reality, there's actually, there's been no, thank you so much, thank you Dubsy. There's been very little improvement, and that it's mostly talking, and that the most concerning part about this plan is this whole 50 days, waiting for 50 days before applying any sort of additional pressure on Russia, so a lot can happen in 50 days. Anyway, so that was the last we have seen, and then all of a sudden there is this rhetoric from the insiders, quoted by several media outlets, in particular the one that I have on the screen right now, the Financial Times, that Donald Trump asked Volodymyr Zelensky if Ukraine could hit Moscow, say people briefed on call. Now, I understand the U-turn, right? But this U-turn would be a fundamental U-turn if that were to be the case. So US President encouraged Ukrainian leader to step up deep strikes on Russia during the phone call. And the article claims that Donald Trump has privately encouraged Ukraine to step up deep strikes on Russian territory, even asking Volodymyr Zelensky whether he could strike Moscow if the US provided long-range weapons, according to people briefed on the discussion. The conversation, which took place during the July 4th call between the leaders of US and Ukraine, so we're talking, 12 days ago. It was a 12 days ago, marks a sharp departure, to say the least, from Trump's previous stance on Russia's war and his campaign promise to end U.S. involvement in foreign conflicts. While it remains unclear whether Washington will deliver such weapons, the discussion underscores Trump's deepening frustration with Putin. So this was everywhere. This headline was everywhere. Everyone was discussing it. And then immediately, I think a couple of hours after this was published and everyone started discussing this, Trump, of course, says that Zelensky should not target Moscow. How are we supposed to analyze things with this man? I don't know. I don't understand. So, Trump says Zelensky should not target Moscow with strikes after announcing more weapons would be sent to Ukraine. So we're once again back in our hot and cold Katy Perry song type of foreign policy, and I know. It's impossible to make any sort of assumptions or analyze anything with this person. But he also said that he's going to see what happens with President Putin after issuing Moscow a 50-day ultimatum to agree to a peace deal or face severe tariffs. And he also once again said that he has been very disappointed with Putin. So once again, we have one massive nothing burger. How to analyze this thing? I mean, I have some ideas. I read somewhere that it was Melania who spoke sense to Trump. Right, remember we talked when we were discussing the press conference between him and Rutte, how, he quoted Melania during he talked about a lot of things. He talked about, remember, the desks, that the US presidents have seven desks, you guys, in case you have forgotten. I will never forget this from now on. The Autopan and all of Biden, transgender people, as always. And then he also kind of sort of mentioned that apparently Melania talked to him about the fact that Ukraine is still getting hit every night. And then this also became a meme in the geopolitical community, and everything's fine. So among all the people who care about this stuff, so it's mostly, I think, political scientists and just a bunch of crazy people on Twitter. Anyway, but I think it was sort of blown out of proportion. I don't think that his foreign policy or whatever it is that is currently happening is based on what Melania is saying. But it's a funny theory, Agent Melania to the rescue. It was interesting, partially because, of course, the Kremlin was quite unhappy with this U-turn. One good thing about this whole Trump, whatever it is that he's doing, is that it also confuses the enemy. I guess. We've already talked about how it confuses the partners and the allies more, arguably, but it also confuses the enemy. Dmitry Medvedev, remember him? Yeah. So on July 8th, so this is 4 days after this alleged phone call between Trump and Zelensky, where Trump allegedly asked Zelensky whether or not he could strike Moscow. Medvedev crawls out of the basement and goes on his little telegram rant, as he does. And yeah, basically he's quoting Trump, and he says that Trump, well, he basically reiterates what I just told you, that Trump goes back and forth. I am happy with our conversation with Putin. I'm disappointed with our conversation with Putin. We're not delivering any new weapons for Ukraine. We're going to deliver a lot of weapons for Ukraine. Как нам к этому относиться, is asking, Dmitry Medvedev is asking, how are we supposed, what are we supposed to think about this, right? What are we supposed to make out of this? And yeah, then he makes a conclusion, which is also a very predictable conclusion, and the conclusion that I believe Kremlin has made a very long time ago. They shouldn't react or respond. In no way they should continue with what they're doing already. And this is what he's saying, quote, we should continue like our soldiers are doing, like our glorious leader is doing, meaning Putin. So we shouldn't respond. We should continue with the war. We should continue returning our land. This is what, of course, they call Ukraine, their land, and continue working towards victory. So yeah, perhaps on one hand they might be confused. Okay, a little bit, slightly. Maybe this rhetoric is unnerving. But if you take a step back and you look at the bigger picture, you just see that they continue with what they've already had in mind, which is, surprise, surprise, is the full takeover of Ukraine and the destruction of the Ukrainian statehood and independence. I was shocked. Is anyone shocked? So yeah, but yeah, in 50 days, maybe a strong ultimatum. I know. I'm happy to see you too. Glad to have you with us. Thank you for joining. Imagine we find out Melania was the agent. That's who should be playing the next James Bond. It should be Melania. Imagine that. Wouldn't that be cool? Because they keep talking about who's going to be the next Bond. Who's going to be the next Bond? Melania Trump is going to be the next Jane Bond, Ukrainian version. Evgenia Bond. All right, okay, enough with Trump. Nothing's happening. It's just so annoying that we even have to give any time of the day to this, because it's nothing. Nothing ever happens with this man. It's just the endless back and forth. But we have to, of course, pay attention, obviously, because our future depends on the stuff that he's saying. But it's really hard to analyze it. And okay, let's talk about the sad stuff while we are at it. So the shellings and the strikes, everybody. We usually start with the shellings and the strikes. Today, yeah, we got carried away with the beauty that is Slovakia and Fico. So last night, 267 drones we had sent from Russia towards our territory, and last night it was 401. So it was drones and missiles. Which, I mean, yeah, it's pretty terrible, but again, comparing to some of the strikes that we have seen in the last, 5 days ago? When was it when we had 700? I already forgot. Okay, we had 623 on July 12th, and we had 700. Okay, it was July 9th. I'm already confused. It's really hard to keep up with all of the drones and all of the stuff. And interestingly enough, Zelensky pointed out in his recent interview that, remember how Keith Kellogg was visiting Kiev, right? Couple of days ago, while Trump was meeting up with Rutte in Washington with the NATO chief. Kellogg was in Kiev. And Zelensky pointed this out, and a lot of the Ukrainians pointed that out too, that Kyiv was not hit while Kellogg was there, so during his visit. And this picture that you're seeing on your screens right now, if you're on YouTube, you should be, if you're not, by the way. This is to illustrate the Kellogg effect on our air defense, and someone asking, like, how, like, is he only going to protect Kyiv, or is he has a wider radius of action? But yeah, as you can see, nothing was reaching Kiev while he was there. Unfortunately, the eastern regions were still hit pretty badly. But I think this is the first time we have seen. Okay, I'm gonna keep this open. I think this is the first time we have seen in a while when a visit from any Western official would actually prevent the strikes from happening. Because usually in the past it was the very opposite. Actually, it was. Sometimes they would even intensify. We had all of these, European officials visiting, and then boom, there's immediately a massive missile strike. Or there was, I remember one that was, it was covered pretty widely because it was the chief of the United Nations, it was Guterres, who visited Kiev, and Kiev got hit so badly during his visit. He was all shaken up after that. But yeah, Kellogg's visit apparently acts as a guiding light and the protection spell for the Russian drones. So can we keep him? Yeah, thank you, Zoe. Yeah, I'm showing stuff on YouTube, everybody. It's linked in bio. So yeah, Melania is from Slovenia. She is. Not Slovakia. That's important. Fico is from Slovakia. Slovenia has been fine. So, interesting. Anyway, yeah, so hopefully we can keep Keith Kellogg as another air defense system, because he seems to be working out just fine against the Russian missiles and drones. Okay, that's just on the topic of the, thankfully, Kyiv not getting hit. Unfortunately, the same thing cannot be said about the other places in Ukraine. So this is Dobropille. And this is actually just from a couple hours ago. So this is in Donetsk region. The Russians have targeted a shopping center with the aerial guided bomb, the Kabe. Remember, we discussed how this is one of those types of weapons against which we do not really have a countermeasure, and I'm afraid even Keith Kellogg himself wouldn't be able to help us with that. So yeah, there was a terrible strike on the town of Dobropille. This here you can see some of the consequences filmed by the people. So the extra disgusting part about this is that they hit it's the store called Aurora, which is, I'm not exactly sure what to compare it, but in the US I think it would be like the Dollar Tree perhaps, but this type of the store, it's not really, it's quite affordable, and they're selling a lot of different, mainly Chinese manufactured junk. So as you can imagine, there's always a lot of people there, a lot of kids there. And the worst part about this particular case is that the strike was literally during the rush hour, when a lot of people are going back home after work and they're doing their evening shopping. So yeah, for now they're just saying that there was a lot of victims, a lot of people were killed, but we do not have the exact count of how many people were killed. It's just suspected that there's a lot. And yeah, Dobropille is in Donetsk region. It's about 20 kilometers away from the front. It's close to Pokrovsk. Let's see if I can find it. This is it. That's Dobropille. Let me also. That's it right here. You see, right? You see how close it is to the front line. So. And the Pokrovsk direction the situation has been intensifying, by the way. Recently, it's been announced that, remember, right, this is Pokrovsk, it's one of the most heated directions at the front line, the city that the Russians have been trying to capture for a while, and this is one of their main priorities. They have to capture it pretty much as fast as they can. And yeah, the situation there has been getting worse and worse and worse. It still holds, but it's not getting any better. So today it was, we learned that the last 3 stores in Pokrovsk, the grocery stores in Pokrovsk, will be closing down because it's impossible for the owners of the grocery stores to get any supplies, anything into the city, because the logistics are being targeted by the drones and artillery. So yeah, we're seeing the beginning of the end, I'm afraid. Again, I don't think the map is showing it's not showing the actual situation, but for instance, this little arrow that you're seeing right here, this is the direction of the Russian advancement, the direction of their movement. I remember the first time when it appeared, you don't really understand, right? What does it mean when you see this? Okay, this is the direction in which they're moving. But I remember seeing it for the first time and reading the news accompanying it that the first Russian troops have been spotted on the outskirts of Pokrovsk. It was a couple months ago, right? So this is what it means. It's sometimes it means just the direction of the advancement, and sometimes it means, okay, they're actually already actively moving, stepping into the area. Yeah, and Dobropilya, unfortunately, was under the attack. Christ. There's just no end to it in sight, unfortunately. This is from Kharkiv. So this is from 8 hours ago. Kharkiv was one of the regions that was under attack yesterday. Well, no, this is not yesterday, this is last night. And this is the ambulance that was damaged in the drone strike. So 2 of the medical workers were injured too. And yeah, this was the FPV drone. So I'm not sure, can we count it as a human safari or just a regular war crime? It's hard to say, but yeah, they target what clearly is an ambulance. Not like they care, but yeah, that's an ambulance in Kharkiv. A reminder to those of you who forgot where Kharkiv is. Let's go up here. Wait, this is Kharkiv right here, and we're talking direction of Kupiansk. You can see there is some advancement happening because the Russians are trying to take it back. They're trying to take back Kupiansk, and there's been some fighting in the area. So that's from Kharkiv. Sorry, everybody, I got distracted. Yeah, I know, a lot of sad stuff. We're gonna get through the sad stuff, and then we will laugh at Fico, hopefully, once again. Trump thought he could end the war with a phone call. Slowly he learned. You think he did? I don't know. I am not sure. It's hard to say. Oh well. Anyway, so this was Kharkiv. Yeah, 2 medical workers who were injured there, 53 and 59. But they refused to be hospitalized, so the injuries are not too bad, thankfully. Another thing, wait, what is this? Oh, we had an attack on Vinnytsia as well. Wait, do I have any? Yeah, this was actually pretty bad. So this is Vinnytska Oblast. Have we discussed Vinnytska Oblast before at all? I think we did. Or maybe we didn't. So this is the city of Vinnytsia itself, and this is the region. So, I mean, we usually do not consider it to be a part of the Western Ukraine, but it's very far away from the front line. It's on the right bank of Dnipro River, so it is quite removed from all of the main horrifying action. But yeah, it was unfortunately hit by the drone. 8 people were hospitalized, and there was a massive fire. And as it was later confirmed by the Polish officials and by our side as well, this was a woodworking factory, a Polish woodworking factory actually, so a foreign business. And yeah, it was their factory. It was confirmed by Radoslaw Sikorski, the Polish foreign minister. He posted about this on Twitter, of course, because this is what communication is these days. So he said Russian drones struck the Barlinek Group factory in Vinnytsia. The plant manager told me just now that it was deliberate from 3 directions. There are injured people, including 2 people severely burned. Ukrainian services are responding, as is our consulate, meaning Polish consulate. Putin's criminal war is getting closer to our borders. Yep, yes, it does. And yeah, the fire has been... Wait, excuse me. No, I don't want to do that. Could you just show me the Facebook? What do you want from me? Facebook really wants me to create a new Facebook account and offers me all these options, but I'm not gonna do this. I'm not falling for the zuckery of it all anymore. But yeah, it's just, you can see it's a massive fire. The factory is burning, so I don't think there is anything else to add here, I'm afraid. That was Vinnytsia, everybody. Good to see you too. Hello. yeah, so hopefully these are all the strikes I wanted to discuss, because that's too much and that's very intense. Let me just close it all down. We will keep an eye on Dobropile and the situation there, but it doesn't look good. Oh wait, there was also a strike on Kryvyi Rih with Shaheda. This is Zelensky's hometown. Let me also, I like how it, when I type it in, it lights up the places real nice. Kryvyi Rih, Dnipropetrovsk. That's it. Cool thing about Kryvyi Rih is how long it is. It's one of the longest cities in Ukraine. I deleted all my meta. Yeah, I deleted Facebook. After I learned about how toxic Messenger is and how it collects all of the data that you don't want it to collect and you never allowed it to collect, but it still does. I was like, yeah, no, thank you. I'm done. Goodbye. So yeah, there was a strike on Kryvyi Rih as well, and after that, it was the energy infrastructure that got hit, and after that they had massive blackouts all across the city. There were a total of 28 drones and also one missile that were launched towards the city. A factory got destroyed, and there was a 17-year-old boy who was injured, and yeah, there were blackouts all across the city. This was Kryvyi Rih last night, and this is also about Kryvyi Rih. Okay, now I think we have covered all of the strikes. It's Hungarian Minister of Foreign Affairs. Sorry, everybody, jump scare. Do you know why this specific area is being targeted? It's really hard to say why they would target a Polish woodworking company factory, but honestly, I can bat my hair on that if we were to look up how the Russian side is covering the strike, that it probably says that they targeted a NATO facility or like a drone manufacturing something, or like a, hi Dave, thank you, something like that. Why? Sometimes it's the factories that do actually have something to do with the military-industrial complex. Most of the times it's not. It's just random stuff like this. Or with the energy, with the power infrastructure, it obviously has this very... regarding the morale, I think this is something that plays a heavy part, because this affects people very much when they sit with no power for days, and also it affects all of the operations in the region. Like Kryvyi Rih is a city of heavy industry, so not just military industrial. I don't know what kind, if there are any major military factories there, but they've always been pretty big on anything that has to do with heavy metals, for instance, not in the music, but like actual heavy metals. And so the industry, of course, immediately stops. So this is an attack on the economy. The terror part of it all is when the drones are just simply coming into the residential areas, and they just hit the residential areas, as we have seen. I think how many times I've lost count by this point. They just enter the area above the city, and then they just fall into the, wherever they can, pretty much, wherever they can reach. Last time we were looking at this horrifying video, I think it was in Kharkiv, actually, of this drone just literally dropping into a building. So, yeah. Okay. Could be anything. Oh, this is something that actually made me laugh, you guys. There is a good old Ukrainian tradition of politicians fighting in our government, and it hasn't been happening for a while. We haven't had a fight in a while. Today we finally had a fight in the Ukrainian parliament. I know, the clownery, but normally I would be so pissed, and I would be like, oh, look at these idiots, look at these fools. But it was so nostalgic of the good old times before the full-scale invasion. So I even bookmarked it to show it to you. Look at them. This is our parliament, everybody. Верховна Rada. It's not an actual fight, but yeah. A little brawl. It's so pretty nostalgic. I think this is our Minister of Economy. I think this is Hitmantsev, and this is Goncharenko, who's just a clown. not much to add about this guy, but yeah, at least they they kind of cheered us all up with that. I guess something good came out of these people finally. Good afternoon to you too. Hello, hello, hello. Hi Moo. Hello. Do you think that Russia actually wants to draw NATO into the conflict? I don't think they do. Not really. So the question here, I think ultimately, if it ends up being the confrontation with NATO, I don't think it's going to be up to Russia. I think it's going to be up to China. And it's going to depend fully on how deep the Chinese influence within Russia is, how it continues to grow and develop. Because there is only one player for whom it makes sense, and it's China. And if they manage to do this, then yeah, because for them it's going to be a perfect distraction for Taiwan to have some sort of involvement here in Europe, getting America distracted, right? So, in theory, of course, this is all in theory. Hopefully it's never going to happen. But yeah. Hello. Sorry, I'm getting really distracted today on all the random things. I fear our clowns will take to fighting soon enough. Yeah, they might. I know, it's kind of, obviously it's not a good look when stuff like this happens, and under any other circumstances I would be so annoyed with them, but these days I'm like, whatever. Sure. Oh, what the hell. Alright, let's see what else we have. Okay, Slovakia we talked about. This whole Trump conundrum, God, it's so much, and it takes up so much time and attention, everyone's attention. Last time, remember how we discussed about, how we talked about, so this Trump's offer, right, that NATO countries, some of the NATO countries will be paying for the American weapons and then giving them to Ukraine. Well, apparently not all the NATO countries are on board. Surprise, surprise. Who could have thought? So, according to this Political article, it's mainly Germany that was on board, and it's kind of a German plan to sort of bring Trump back into the game and change his mind on Ukraine, bring him back into the fold. Quote from Rutte, who's the NATO chief: "Mr. President, dear Donald, this is really big. This is really big." So, yeah, it's just basically points to the fact that there was a lot of German effort behind the scene to conduct this exact plan, to bring it to fruition. But France is not happy with this, out of all people. So yeah, not all European countries are on board with the approach. However, in the Oval Office, Rutte listed 4 Nordic countries in addition to the UK and the Netherlands. We discussed that. That are backing the plan to send US weapons to Ukraine. France, whose president Emmanuel Macron has long pushed for Europeans to build up their own defense industrial base by buying locally, was a notable omission from the list. Paris will not join the initiative to buy US weapons for that reason, according to 2 French officials with knowledge of the issue. The French government is also struggling to boost its own defense spending as it tries to make budget cuts and rein in its staggering deficit. Yeah, 2 different approaches, right? 2 different approaches here. And I honestly think that Germany's is much more realistic, because I think they're being much more realistic regarding the actual European manufacturing capacity, which is nowhere near close to the US capacity. And if they actually believe, and by the looks of it, they do believe that the threat is imminent and they have to do something about it, yeah, the buying from America is the most viable option in the situation. But for now, of course, it's being discussed only as, a way to supply us. And we've also talked about before how it's important to keep in mind that when we talk about supplying us, it's not just because the American systems are great, although they are, of course, they are great, and they've been making a huge difference. It's also because our troops are already trained on those. They're already trained on the Patriot systems, for instance. So yeah, but of course there is division. There's division on anything. Can these people agree on one single thing, for instance, just anything at all, please? Oh well. Yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is, as I like to say to you all the time. Wait, what did I miss? Did I miss something? Oh, hello. Thank you for finding me. I appreciate it. And hello, the Smooth Toad. That's such a cool name. I love it. So yeah, just more of this diplomatic mumbo jumbo between all of these different players. Everybody wants different things. Hopefully they will agree on something sooner than later, because yeah, the enemy is not sleeping. Last time we talked about the chemical weapons, right? The chemical weapons that are being used in Ukraine. There were people wondering about it, and I was kind of confused as in why, because I've known, and a lot of you have known, that the Russians have been using chemical weapons against Ukraine since 2022. But apparently the European Union started paying extra attention to this, so this is why. This headline reads, Russia's increasing use of chemical weapons in Ukraine is unbearable, according to Kaya Kallas. Moscow is using banned chemical weapons to inflict as much pain and suffering as possible to force Ukraine to surrender. Yeah, this is why. I was so confused. I was like, why are people bringing this up? Hasn't this been like a well-known fact since 2022 that they've been using the chemical weapons of all different kinds of different gases and stuff? Yeah, Kaya Kallas, she has been a great advocate for Ukraine and a big friend of Ukraine. She decided to bring some extra attention to this, which is, yeah, we're very thankful for this. I don't think it's going to change the situation much on the ground, but it's good that at least, they're paying attention to it now. So, as the intelligence services are saying, this is intensifying. I think this use of chemical weapons is of great concern. It shows that Russia wants to cause as much pain and suffering. Hi, Nick. Thank you. As possible, right? So that Ukraine would surrender. And it's really unbearable, right? Most countries around the world, including Russia, have signed a 1993 international convention banning the use, production, development, or stockpiling of chemical weapons. Yeah, like they would care about that. Okay. Russia is one of 65 countries to have not only signed the Chemical Weapons Convention, thank you, but also ratified it. Yeah, they do not give a rat's ass about that. Sorry, pardon my language. But yeah, her comments add to a growing sense of alarm in EU capitals that Russia is escalating its campaign to subdue Ukraine. Oh no, Russia is escalating its campaign to subdue Ukraine. No, I would have never known. What? Yes, it is escalating. It's been escalating the campaign for a while now. Good morning, everybody. I can't with these people anymore. How are we supposed to process all of this? How am I supposed to live, love in these conditions? No, I refuse. I refuse to exist in this universe. I'm getting off. I'm getting off this planet. That's enough. Ay. So, okay, well, good thing is they're paying attention, right? Bad thing is, yeah, everything continues the way it has been. So, okay, Hungary, everybody. I've already shown you and spooked you with the Hungarian foreign minister enough without discussing the actual story. So there's been this whole thing with Hungary for a while now. We have had a scandal after scandal with Orban and Orban's government. There were the spying scandals. They arrested someone who they claimed was a Ukrainian spy, and in a plot twist, that Ukrainian spy that they have arrested asked to be released to Russia, which was, classic Ukrainian spy behavior, I guess. We have arrested, I think there were some arrests here as well, but most of the Hungarian attention regarding Ukraine is always on the region of Transcarpathia, Zakarpattia. It's right here. This is the region. As you can see, it shares border with Hungary, and Hungary, of course, believes that it's supposed to be theirs, just like they believe the same thing about, I think, most of the territories that they neighbor, because they're still very much stuck in the World War I. And so this is Transcarpathia, right? Transcarpathia, the Carpathia region of Ukraine, has a significant minority of the Hungarian Ukrainians, Hungarian-speaking Ukrainians. And of course, this is heavily weaponized by Orban and his government. And in the most recent round of this, they're alleging that the Ukrainian recruitment officers have detained a Hungarian in Transcarpathian region of Ukraine, and he died. And now they want Ukraine to be sanctioned because of that. So that's the most recent update in the madness that has been going on for a while now. So yeah, they're going to be offering sanctions against Ukraine. The European sanctions against Ukraine because of this alleged beating of the Hungarian citizen by the recruitment officers in Transcarpathia. Yeah. We were just talking about the sanctions, right? How they couldn't approve the sanctions. Hello. On Russia. Well, maybe they will sanction Ukraine before that. No, of course they won't. But yeah, this is just another round of the madness regarding their attempts at weaponizing the situation. This is the Hungarian media outlet that has been quoted in that article, with the Hungarian politicians claiming that there's further evidence that this guy, whose name is Joseph Sebastian, was beaten to death in Ukraine, according to them. And yeah, they're also, so they're just going to use it as another reason to further drag the potential conversation about the Ukraine-EU accession. What else? They're also going to try and negotiate something for themselves, because this is what most of it is about. Most of these attempts to, we've already talked how it's the same thing with the sanctions, right? How them not approving the sanctions, it's because they want to get a better deal for themselves in some way. So yeah, they're also gonna, they're gonna use that. They're gonna use that, and now they're gonna use this guy who, I don't even know, did he actually exist? Okay, there was a guy, but it's not clear whether or not he was actually the citizen of. Our side is claiming that he was the Ukrainian citizen, and they're saying that he was a Hungarian citizen, but that's because they believe that all of the Hungarian-speaking Ukrainians are actually Hungarian. So yeah, just another round of madness, everybody. This is gonna continue. Unfortunately, this is gonna continue. I know, no live, love for me. This is going to continue until we have this, until Hungary has this government, I'm afraid, because they're going to do everything to weaponize everything coming out of Ukraine and, use it against us. Remember how they claimed how we're all a bunch of, human traffickers. We're all human traffickers, and we're also drug dealers, Heisenbergs incarnated. Yeah, that's just more insanity. Which honestly, under any other circumstances, it wouldn't even be this crazy. It would be just like your classic European beef. Okay, European neighbors being insane and awful to each other. That's like the classic European stuff. That's what the European countries are doing to each other all the time. But yeah, when it's happening to the backdrop of the worst war in the European continent since the World War II, maybe not a very good timing. But yeah, there is a reason for this, of course. There is a reason for these conversations even emerging. So yeah, just another round of Slovakia and Hungary doing their thing. All right, let's see. Okay, I think I have. Interestingly enough, we have an update on the mineral deal in the most unexpected way imaginable. And it's that. So last time when we talked about this topic, we talked about this investment fund that is supposed to be like the Ukrainian Restoration Rebuilding Investment Fund, right? And how Trump became the head of that fund, allegedly. So yeah, apparently it's deeply tied in and merged in with the mineral deal. And the existence of that investment fund is connected and tied to the minerals. Still very unclear how the entire thing is going to function. And I hate how we're only learning about this in this little snippets, little bits and pieces. But they're now looking for the administrator for this investment fund of the restoration of Ukraine. All right. And yeah, they're now looking for a company that is going to be conducting these administrative functions for the Americo-Ukrainian Investment Fund of Restoration, I guess. Okay. But yeah, so while we were a lot of you were asking, like, so what is happening with that? And I was like, last time they talked to us, the American and the Ukrainian side promised us that they're going to give us more technical details, because after they signed it, there were no technicalities discussed. They just signed the deal and that was it. And they promised us, actually, that, yeah, there's going to be more details coming soon. That was several months ago. There was nothing else. But all along, there has been this quiet work happening. It's called the investment fund, and it's actually stated in that deal. Remember, right? How a part of the American obligation is to restore Ukraine, whatever. So yeah. It's happening. It's super shady. Are you seeing how shady this entire thing is? It's insanely shady. But yeah, they clearly don't want us to pay too much attention to this, so that's interesting. The entire thing still makes very little sense. And yeah, I hate how we are only getting these like little teeny tiny glimpses of the information, and they clearly don't want us in on any of the juicy deets. Oh well, is this our Ministry of what that said it? Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is our Ministry of Economy. Okay. Shady stuff, everybody. But yeah, this is unfortunately, the mineral deal, I know. This is the only update so far that we have gotten on the situation, so I know. It's so boring, and it's so murky, and I hate it. I know. Any news on Russian losses? I think it's daily. There are daily updates on their losses. I don't really look at them anymore because I don't. Let's see. I think Ukrpravda does them. Ukrpravda. You can find them if you go to their main page. Yeah, it was, according to our side, 1,170 people were killed, Russian soldiers. This is the official statistics from our side, so of course it's exaggerated. Yeah, it's mostly in the equipment that was burned. Thank you. They're adding a lot of drones. So the destroyed equipment, 284 Russian drones. What is this? I don't know what this is. Trucks, 82 trucks, and air defense. Thank you. Air defense systems, 2 more. So yeah, if you go to Ukrainska Pravda website, they have this little thing. This infographic is created based on the official data provided from our army. So you can check it out. Was this Chewy? Yes, this is Chewy. And my mom trying to hush her. Oh my god, a Latvian mayor was wounded in the Russian shelling in Ukraine. Oh, he was delivering aid to the Ukrainian front lines. Oh my god. Oh, and he regularly does this since 2022. Oh, this is so nice. They're bringing in the cars. Remember how we discussed how the pickup trucks are still extremely important for the army because we don't have enough armored vehicles. Yeah. But unfortunately, no details on his injuries. They're saying he is stable. Oh, God. Anyway, I just saw that. Yeah, did you hear Chewy? Chewy is doing her thing, everybody. She is unbroken, as always. Yep, that... Thank you, Daydreamer. That's Chewy, if she were a nice dog and not a monster from hell. So, thank you. Oh boy. Let me see. What did I... Yeah, I'm still in Ukraine. I will let you know when something changes. But you will notice. Thank you. Because the wall will be gone. And of course I will tell you if I go somewhere. And I will be streaming from those places. But for now we're still in Volyn. Still very much in Volyn on the farm. With all the chicks. How many chicks do we have? We have like 100, I think, at this point. It's insane. They're so loud. All right. Let's see. What else? We discussed this. We discussed that. There was an interesting article. Unfortunately, I think it's only in Ukrainian about how the Russians are stealing Ukrainian grain from the occupied Berdyansk. Thank you. But this has been going on for a while. I think we all know at this point, right? That this has been something of a norm on the occupied territories ever since they have taken over the Ukrainian southeast. Yeah, the process had begun of them stealing the grain. Over the past year and a half, the Russian occupiers have exported more than 400,000 tons of Ukrainian grain and other agricultural products by sea from Berdyansk. The estimated cost of which can reach about 4 billion hryvnias. And yeah, the journalists of this media outlet, Kyborg and GL Media, gained access to the internal documents of the Berdyansk port and verified about 20 ships participating in the illegal export of grain, as well as identified people who implemented the scheme. So yeah, some pretty good investigation. Some of them still remain citizens of Ukraine. Oh, you don't say, of course. This is Berdyansk on the coast of Azov Sea, and it's occupied by the Russians since March 2022. And yeah, it was turned into this link of trade and also the supplies for the Russians. So yeah, just a very good investigation. I really liked it. It's good to see that people are still working on stuff like this, that it hasn't been completely dismissed and forgotten. Apparently there was some company from Denmark that was also involved with this process, but I cannot find it. It's all very pretty when they do these infographics like this, right? How the grain is being moved and all of that, but at the same time, it's hard to get the exact information. So, yeah, there we go. Bypass the ban on trade illegally exported from Ukraine. The Danish company Baltic Control helps... so the Danish company Baltic Control helps to bypass the ban on this illegal grain export. Sorry, that was the automated translation. So, okay. Baltic Control doesn't sound like a company from Denmark to me. It sounds like a Russian puppet company set up in Denmark to do exactly that, to assist them with their shady doings, because they do a lot of that. We've discussed this in the past when we were talking last time about the artillery forging equipment that they have imported from Spain, that it could have been easily some sort of Russian puppet company that is just used for their own benefit and is not actually real. They have a lot of these. They do a lot of these. It's just a facade very often. Anyway, yeah, so that was interesting to see that someone's still talking about the grain. I was not expecting people to still remember that. There was news in English as well about the grain. Maybe it's based on this investigation. It could be that. Good afternoon to you too. I hope you're doing well. Will you come to Britain? I don't really see this happening realistically, unfortunately, because I would need a... Thank you, Maddie. Thank you so much. I would need a visa for that, and it's a whole process. Unfortunately, ever since you guys left the European Union, it's been much harder to get in for all of us who are from Ukraine. But of course I would love to eventually. I would love to come back to revisit Glasgow. Would be nice. I miss it. And also to travel properly, because a lot of you may remember that unfortunately my stay in the UK was ruined by the lockdown. Because, yeah, it was early 2020 and we didn't see it coming. We had all these wonderful plans about how we were gonna, be done with our semester, and then we will travel across Scotland and we're gonna go see all of the, the beauty, the Highlands and the bridge from Harry Potter or something. I don't remember. And then this little thing called COVID hit, and we didn't get to see anything. We were just stuck in the house, getting really fat. And the only activity that we had going on was me and my 2 housemates. We would dress up all fancy, we would do our makeup, and we would go to a big Tesco. And and it was the event of I don't know, we would go every 3 days, right? So the event of 3 days. Us looking all cool and fancy and hot in the big Tesco. Yeah, because that was the only thing that was open during the lockdown. Yeah, that was sad. But I still have very good memories from Scotland, despite that, so would be nice to come back when, there is no plague anymore. And South Wales sounds amazing too. I would love to visit Wales too, because I haven't been. I've only been to, Glasgow, Edinburgh, and London for like 2 days. So, 1 day actually. I think it was 24 hours. I stayed at a very sketchy hotel. Very weird one. They tried to put me in a room with no windows. I did not appreciate that. Yeah, good times, everybody. Okay, Muse says, yes, it was based on that, 400,000 tons in value, 110 million of grain that has been stolen. Yeah, makes sense, sounds about right, unfortunately. This is what they do. They steal the grain and steal the kids. Oh my god, Israel bombed Syria. I forgot, I also wanted to, at least briefly mention that, because have you seen this video? This is just horrifying. This is the building of the Syrian army general stuff in Damascus, just obliterated. Look at that. Just gone. And the presidential palace was also bombed. Syria cannot catch a break. Anyway, sorry, let me see. I get distracted. I know. Hey yo, TJ. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, I know. The official explanation is that they're defending the Druze, of course, as always. But it was speculated for a while that they were going to do this, that they would try, because they need... So the idea is that they need basically to clear up the southern Syria for the self-defense or something. Everyone was just really hoping that it was not going to happen, but yeah, of course it did. Anyway, okay, we're ready to... this is the strike against the Syrian presidential palace. This is... Yeah, they are, but so was Assad. Right? And that was not a reason for any strikes. So, I guess that's slightly suspicious, no? You don't think so? Thank you, Anne. Thank you. It just sounds like a little bit of an excuse, if you ask me. But then again, what do I know? Okay, the France stuff we have discussed. Okay, this is something interesting about the new Russian military camps on the territory of Serbia and Bosnia that are allegedly preparing mercenaries let me... Wait, is there an English version of this article? Yeah, so this is from Militarny. Investigation reveals Russia's preparation of mercenaries for Moldova coup attempt. Now, this is... We've talked about Moldova a lot before. We have some... from time to time we get people from Moldova in the chat. This is Moldova. This is Transnistria, part of Moldova that has been under Russian occupation pretty much since early 1990s. And recently there's been all of these talks about potentially speeding up of the Moldova accession into the EU, because they're not the member of the European Union, but they would like to be. And of course, you already know who would like to try and get in the way of that. So, yeah, this is what this article is discussing. So that apparently, allegedly, the Russian intelligence agencies have set up training camps for mercenaries in Serbia and Bosnia and Herzegovina to prepare participants for a coup attempt in Moldova. Good thing that they're talking about these things. Anyway, so Moldovan citizens were recruited for the operation, were required to surrender their phones and passports before the training began. The preparation included, among other things, training in drone operation. Yeah, they were promised a reward of $300 to $500 US dollars for completing a 10-day intensive course. And payments were reportedly made in cryptocurrency, which of course they were made in cryptocurrency. Are we even surprised? According to the investigation, the training sessions were held between... they're talking about, this is August 1st and 16, and again from August 22nd to October 11th, 2024 in both countries, and the operation aimed to undermine the presidential elections in Moldova, which took place in the fall of 2024. So thankfully it was all fine, but I think the most concerning revelation here is that, of course, the authorities, for instance, of Bosnia, they denied the existence of such camps on their territory, but just the fact that something like this could be pulled off, it's just insanity, right? And in Serbia, police discovered remnants of a camp, so burned papers, traces of burned tarpaulin and scorched earth. According to media reports close to the Serbian authorities, drones, goggles, Starlink satellite communication equipment, and flammable liquids were also discovered at the site. Serbian officials have not yet issued any comment. Gee, I wonder why. Serbia, such a good friend of democracy everywhere, wouldn't comment on this. But yeah, to me it was surprising to see just how pretty much out in the open stuff like this could be, how it's just sort of happening. No one is even really trying to hide anything. Just mercenaries camp for attempted coup, and of course it immediately made me think how many things like this are operating currently, because we're learning about stuff like this after almost a year of this happening, and imagine how many things like this are going on right now and we're not even aware. We don't even know. We can only imagine. So yeah, food for thought, everybody. I know, big oof. Everything about this is the biggest oof ever. Thank you for watching. Дуже дякую. Дякую за те, що дивитесь. Дуже приємно. I know. It's just... And everybody with the bombing in Syria, everybody was expecting this to happen for a while. And everybody knew exactly what kind of reasoning would be given. But it's just still... enough, right? Enough, for Christ's sake. No, everything continues to burn and bleed and... okay, the grain stuff I'm gonna close down for now, and I will also close down the gas stuff. Fico jump scare, Jesus. Okay. You never know. Whenever we discuss these things, you never know. Okay, I think I have discussed most of the things that I wanted to discuss for today. Didn't have a lot of things... Well, honestly, not too many things happened, which is, I don't know whether it's good or not. So we can just chat briefly about all the other things that we have in mind, and then we can just call it, then we can just wrap it up and call it a day. So yeah, let me know if there's anything you would like to know, and if not, I'll just go feed the dogs earlier. Because I think we did all of the main things. Just, yeah, today is a foggy, slightly weird day. There is a storm coming through most of Europe, as I'm sure you're aware, but it will get bigger over the Adriatic and Black Sea. Okay, well, at first I thought you meant as in, like, metaphorically, the storm coming, as in demilitarization and everything, and I was about to nod. Yeah, of course, yeah, something's happening, something's in the air, but it's an actual storm, so, okay. Hopefully it will be fine. I haven't heard much. I don't really keep up with the weather, which maybe I should be doing this more. I don't though, so sorry, no, I was not aware of that. I was not aware of that, dear. Apologies. Not a weather type of person, more of the political conspiracies and all of that. Machiavellian stuff, you know. Will we also have a storm? We've had so many thunderstorms recently, I've lost track. It's been a very chaotic summer. And yeah. But also the climate here is something, I don't know, maybe this is how it's always been in Volyn. It's just that we only moved here. Well, actually, it's been already a decade since we moved here. My God, does time fly? Oh well. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll try to keep an eye out for the weather updates. And yeah, you stay safe too, okay? Because you never know with these things, especially if there is flooding or something. All right, everybody. I think we did all of the topics that I wanted to discuss, so I'll just be closing everything down. Kaja Kallas, Mr. Trump, Mr. Fico, Wagner. Should Crimea be liberated? I don't think it will be liberated. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Would you go back? I don't really see a point of speculating, you know, it's something that's not gonna happen. Previously I thought, yeah, of course, but now I don't really see this happening anymore, so I don't see a point of trying to keep your hopes up. And it's one thing, you know, when it's just like a rhetoric device, when it's just something that's happening in theory somewhere far away from you, but when it's a part of your life, you don't really want to keep your hopes up. You want to stay grounded, you want to stay realistic, because it can really eat you alive, this stuff, if you get, you know, too focused on this and you continue building your life expecting that, okay, maybe one day we will go back. Yeah, and then, like in my case, 10 years pass and you realize that you kind of forgot to live in a way, you know, because you keep going back to this idea that perhaps I will go back, but you're not going back, you're just wasting your time. So yeah, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's productive at all. We should just, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I think at this point in time I'm just gonna move on, and yeah, and this is it. I just keep going back to the fact that it's been such a long time. There are already generations of people there who believe themselves to be Russian, they're kids who do not remember Ukraine at all. And yeah, it's a different place entirely. So, yeah. Thank you. What is happening? Wait, did I miss? Everyone's already saying goodbye and I'm still ranting. Yeah, we just keep swimming, right? We just keep swimming. I heard that they keep trying, with the Wagner and the rest of them, trying to seek asylum in Finland. That's crazy, right? It keeps happening, and they continue to hope and pray that it's gonna work out. Well, thankfully you guys see through them, so that's good. That's a good thing. So, But the audacity, right? The audacity of some people. Yeah, sense of humor definitely keeps... It helps keep you sane. At least in my case, it did. For a while. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right, let's wrap it up. A very... I think a much chiller one today, but yeah, you don't know. You don't know. Sometimes there's a lot of stuff happening and a lot of things I have to share, and sometimes no. So we'll just wrap it up. We'll call it an evening. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this was informative, interesting, entertaining, or whatnot. As always, if you would like to see the recording, as not always, as we've recently started doing this, it's on YouTube. You can go on YouTube, and you can also subscribe and hit the bell, and then you might even get the notification for the next stream, which I hope is gonna be on the 18th. But if something goes wrong, I will let you know on my Instagram story, which is also linked in bio. In case you're not following me, you should. I post a lot of my dogs on there. So yeah, follow me on there, and I will see you all next time. Mwah, mwah. Okay, first TikTok. Bye-bye, TikTok. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good to see you all. I will catch you later, alligators. Bye-bye. Okay. We just said goodbye to TikTok, and now back to you guys. What did I miss? Good night. Thank you. Appreciate you all. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. You know the drill. In 2 days, we will be live, and I'm also gonna post the upcoming live thingy where you can click the bell if you want, or don't. You're free people. Thank you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.